Alright guys, so we gotta talk about Cobra Kai Season 6 Part 2. Wow, what a part. Let me tell you guys, up to this point, Cobra Kai has been a great show. It has been a show where we're in this small valley. We're in small valley in California. Everybody knows each other. These dojos are duking it out. We were small, you know, we were in this small, more communal space. Now we take Cobra Kai to this world tournament where people from all around the world are participating in. And boy, does the story get bigger. It gets bolder. It gets darker, guys. I mean, this season got dark. Like, this is a season where I never thought the show would get to this point, but wow, it got extremely dark in this season to the point where it almost felt like it wasn't Cobra Kai, but weirdly enough, guys, I loved that. It was a huge change from the usual, and there are just some things that happened that I did not expect, especially the ending of this part being the darkest moment in the show's history. And I think this tone shift in the show was going to divide some fans. I think some people are going to miss that old Cobra Kai and want that old Cobra Kai back. And while I love Cobra Kai, I also love this season, and I think where they took the story was something intriguing, something different and bolder than what we're so used to. But man, I thought the stakes continued to get better and better and bigger every episode, where it was just like, we got one reveal here, and then we revealed this person, and then this thing happens, and things just got bigger and bigger as the season went on. There's a lot more action and a lot more battles and a couple of blood spills in there as well. And I dug the choreography. It's a little heavy on the slow-mo. I think that they really tried to emphasize doing some speed ramping here, and sometimes it doesn't quite work, but for the most part, it works a ton. Love seeing the kids just like duke it out, go at the world's best, and try their best. But I don't think this is quite a spoiler. We've seen it in trailers, and the creators have said it. The Miyagi-Do and Cobra Kai dojos are the underdogs here. They're the ones that are not at all in those top ranks, the top echelon of all of them. And you've got this new dojo called the Iron Dragons, and these two champions are the real deal. And I really like these new characters in Zara and Axel. Not only them, I really like Sensei Wolf as well, Louis Tan. I really like the new characters and new dojos and new colors, but Axel and Zara have a pretty integral part in this part, and I think they do a great job with what was given. I thought they did an awesome job. I don't think Axel gets to speak as much, and I think I wanted a little bit more from that character, but I really liked how messed up Zara could be. That's all I'm gonna say. Zara, you already know, she has that line in the trailer, "Welcome to Barcelona, B," and I was like, oh, okay, wow, we're going there. But yeah, I really like the new characters, and like I said earlier and alluded to this earlier in the review, there's just some darkness that happens in this one, guys. Like, and I got to the point in Cobra Kai where we get about, I think, 3 or 4 seasons in. You know, after Miguel takes that hard fall at the end of season 2, I get to a certain point in Cobra Kai where I ask the question, what are the consequences of this stuff? And I think this ending to this part shows us the consequences of what happens when we just get too serious about the karate stuff. So that's all I'm gonna say. But wow, I was not prepared for that, that's for sure. I like the battles, I like the new dojo. Love to see my returning Miyagi-Do / Cobra Kai-ish, like Tory, of course. I love to see those characters come back. I think there's some good conflicts in this part as well. Robbie trying to figure out how to be a good leader and not be so distracted, while Miguel at first is a little tense about it, but eventually begins to accept more and more that he's a leader. I really got to talk about Miguel real quick, because him and Johnny were the show. You know, in the beginning of Cobra Kai, they were the show. It was like, okay, this is about the bully from Karate Kid and what happened to him, that aftermath. And this kid who's getting bullied, who doesn't know how to fight, and the bully helps the bullied. Like, that's what Cobra Kai was about. And I feel like they've kind of drifted away from the Miguel character a little bit, and I love Miguel. Miguel's my favorite character in the series. And I almost feel like making Robbie the captain in a rightful way. He won fair and square. There was no cheating. There was no Devin stint, what she did with Kenny. It was fair and square. He won that captain spot. But I feel like this part emphasizes a lot on Robbie, and I was like, man, I feel like Miguel gets sidelined, and I love Miguel. He's like my favorite character of the show, and I just think he has like such an interesting arc through the show. But then the stuff that happened with his dad when he went to Mexico, I wonder if there's more to that, because I felt that kind of was just like really quick in and out. I think there's more to that moment though, and I would love to see more with that. I think his dad might be scheming behind the scenes. Maybe. I'm not entirely sure. But I really, really like Sensei Kim in this part. I think she's sharp, she's tact, but we get a little bit of vulnerability from the character, and I love that. Also, Jon Kreese being Jon Kreese, man. This dude is a snake. He continues to be an asshole, and he does such a great job of doing that. Johnny and Daniel, of course, have a little bit of tension going on after the end of the last part, but things start to develop between the two of them. Again, not going to spoil, but I really like what they did with that relationship and how things are looking better toward the end of the season. But yeah, I really, really like this part a lot, but it is very different than any other Cobra Kai season we've ever laid our eyes on. Again, we're not in the valley, and for me, I think the changes were necessary to show that this worldwide sport, it's completely different when you step outside the valley. You know, we're in this small box in the valley where it's like, we got the All Valley Championship, that happens, the champ of that All Valley tournament is the champ, he's the guy. Whereas worldwide, it's like, okay, you've got many other people that are going to clip those wings, but I also got to go back to one more thing that I had written down in my notes here, and I want to start this off by saying I actually love season 6. A lot of the fan base didn't love part 1 and said part 1's the worst of the bunch. I gotta think about that, because I'm like, all right, I gotta think of all the seasons, but I think this one was a steep jump in my opinion from part 1, but it gives me a little perspective, and I completely understand why people would feel like Cobra Kai could have ended with season 5 where, you know, the Cobra Kai dojo is defeated. And I totally understand that viewpoint, and to some extent also believe it too, but I'm loving what we're getting in these next parts. I mean, I don't know about you guys, but I'm loving this season so far, and I really liked how they made things darker here. They made things edgier. We get more fights, we get consequences, we get dark shit happening. Like, I can't go into spoils, but something happens to Daniel in this season. I was like, wow, Sam discovers something about another student too, and what's going on with his sensei, and there's just a lot going on that's darker than ever before with Cobra Kai or Karate Kid ever has been. I also want to touch a little bit on Mr. Miyagi and where that path is going. I can't go into spoilers, but we did see Daniel find the Sekai Taikai headband. And part of me really likes this change in Mr. Miyagi's backstory and past. I actually really like it because to me it shows that people can change, people can make mistakes, I don't really have an issue with that, and I know that some in the fandom may have a problem, but I think changing Miyagi's backstory a little bit, shifting things around a little, and kind of doing a couple of reveals, I think is such a great idea in terms of, you know, Daniel really worshipped Mr. Miyagi as this perfect person, and it just goes to show nobody's perfect. Even your sensei, who you may view as this angelic figure who, you know, delivered you from the bullies and gave you the strength and confidence to become the man you are today, even that person's not perfect, and I love that message. Now, again, I love this part, but I completely understand how people feel about this one and if it will divide the fan base. So you guys gotta let me know your thoughts in the comments when you've seen it. Are you looking forward to it? Are you watching it now? Because by the time this review drops, guys, it's gonna be on Netflix, and I fully expect y'all to go in and enjoy this one. But y'all gotta let me know. I loved it. Season 6 part 2, loved. But I understand those that don't. Guys, come on back to the channel later today, since this is dropping Friday early in the morning. Later today at 7 o'clock p.m. Mountain Time, 6 p.m. Pacific time, and we're going to talk specifically spoilers, guys, because there's a lot to talk about in this season, and I want to talk about it, y'all. We got to talk spoilers, so come on back to the channel for that live stream, guys. Let's talk about Cobra Kai live and just talk these spoilers, man, because we got to dive into this, guys. But if you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button down below, y'all, and we'll see you next time on Geekly Goods.